Hey you guys, hope everybody had a fantastic New Year's. Little Fit Kendall here. We are going to be chatting about 10 things that I do in my life to make sure that I'm not only able to achieve, but maintain my ideal body. These are 10 things that you are going to be able to implement immediately into your life. Number 1. Start with a good night's sleep. That's gonna mean getting 8 hours of sleep a night, and you're gonna wanna try to not only go to bed at the same time every night, but wake up at the same time every morning. That is gonna help us regulate our circadian rhythm, which is kind of like our body's natural clock. Number 2, drink water immediately when you wake up. I cannot stress this enough. Before you look at your coffee maker, before you have breakfast or work out or even shower, make sure that you get a glass of water in your system. I highly recommend adding a splash of lemon juice and apple cider vinegar, and that's really gonna help kick up your metabolism, wake up your body, and make sure that you are starting to get hydrated so that you can perform better throughout the day. Tip number 3 is you want to work out hard or with a vigorous intensity for 30 minutes, 5 times a week minimum. Of course, it's always going to be fantastic if you can work up to, say, 45 minutes to an hour 5 times a week. You want to really focus on making sure that you're not just putting the time in, but that you're actually making sure that you're working hard during that time. The time's going to pass anyway, so we may as well put in as much effort as we can. Tip number 4 is to do a little bit of cardio before you start your weight session as opposed to static stretching. So a lot of people will do stretching before their workout, and there's actually been a lot of studies to show that that might actually hurt our gains as well as our safety if we're not stretching properly. So I usually just recommend either doing 5 to 10 minutes of dynamic stretching where we're making sure that we're actively moving, or 5 to 20 minutes of light cardio, and that's going to be an excellent way to warm up our body and burn a couple extra calories while we're at it. Fitness tip number 5 is going to be to focus more on our time under tension. What does that mean? So that means the amount of time that we're actually completing a rep. So for instance, if I were to do a bicep curl, then I would curl my hand from the bottom to the top and then back down, and that's excellent. A nice easy peasy little bicep curl. But all of a sudden, if I curl up to the top and then I take twice as long going down, and it's just going, then what's gonna happen is my muscle, it's almost like you're finding a new exercise. Your muscles are going to respond super duper well to that, and you're gonna get some pretty crazy pumps. Again, it doesn't really help us if we're just going through the motions of our exercises. We really wanna make sure that we're being intentional and putting good effort in. Tip number 6 is to eat less calories than you consume. And I know this sounds so basic. When it comes down to it, that is probably the number one thing that we can do to our bodies to initiate weight loss. I usually recommend starting at a caloric deficit of 500 calories. Figure out how many calories you need in a day, and then subtract 500 from that number and try to stay around there. I highly suggest also tracking your caloric intake for a day and just seeing where you actually are. You would be surprised. A lot of people are either under eating or overeating. If that's you, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm always surprised when I track my food and I realize that sometimes those numbers get away from you faster than you think. Tip number 7. Stay committed to your goals and stick to the plan. And I'm not talking about sticking to the plan for like a week or two. I'm talking about sticking to the plan for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. These things take time. If you stick to something for 2 weeks and then decide it's not working and move on to the next thing, then you're never gonna give anything a chance to work, and nothing will. So definitely make sure that you remind yourself what it is that is important to you, and just keep that goal in mind, trust the process, and really stay committed to the plan. A good way of doing this is to find methods of eating and moving your body that you actually enjoy. So don't do keto if you love candy, because you're gonna miss your sugar. You know, don't do a super high carb diet if carbs make your stomach hurt. Even when it comes to fitness, it doesn't have to look like hours of grinding it out at the gym. Fitness can look like going for a walk with your family, or going skiing, or even having a Just Dance party in your living room. Tip number 8 is going to help you stay committed to those goals when you're feeling frustrated and you feel like you're losing faith in the process. And that is going to be to track your progress. I always like to say that while the scale is a useful tool, it lies way too much. So I always encourage people to take progress pictures. Start with a before picture, and then I usually recommend doing a picture every 2 to 4 weeks after that. That way, if you're feeling frustrated, if you feel like you're putting all this work in and you're just not seeing the results, then you can compare the pictures. And if you do see the results, you can hopefully relax a little bit. And if you don't see the results, you either have to give it a little bit more time, or you can take a peek at some of the things that you might be able to tighten up in order to get a little closer to those goals. These last 2 tips are going to be probably the most important, and they are going to be the things that you can kind of apply to every area of your life. Tip number 9 is to be clear not only with what your goals are, but what you're actually willing to sacrifice in order to achieve your goals. And I'm not talking about sacrifice like anything crazy. Let's say you absolutely love sleeping in. Are you willing to sacrifice 1 hour of sleep in order to make sure that you have the time to get your workout in? Or let's say that you love having some nighttime popcorn when you sit down to watch family movies on Netflix. Are you willing to give up that popcorn to lose the weight you want to lose? And of course, it's super important that we're clear on what our goals are in the first place, because otherwise all of those sacrifices are just going to feel terrible. They're going to feel negative, and we're going to feel like we're giving up so much for no reason. As long as we have a goal, we have an aim, and we will not be aimless. Finally, the most important tip of all, number 10, is to have fun. Enjoy yourself and get your friends involved. I find that I am always the most successful when I'm posting about my fitness on social media, I'm engaging with other people in the fitness community, and I'm just telling my friends and family what I'm up to. This doesn't just give you accountability, it doesn't just motivate you, but it also inspires all the people around you. For me, there is no bigger driving factor than knowing or hoping that I'm inspiring the people around me. If you got value from this video, please make sure that you comment down below. Let me know what tip you are going to practice, or what tip are you the best at. For more help getting to where you want to be with your health and fitness goals, make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell icon. Thanks for watching, guys. Never miss a Monday, and I will see you with a new video next Monday.